And now let's go live. Scriptural Discussion. There.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the Truthful, and the Most Just, I greet all of you who have the hunger and thirst for Allah's truth of His righteousness, which we call Holy Scriptures. I greet you all with the greeting words of peace as He taught us. May Allah's salam alaikum. As I listen to many of you returning the greeting, all you do is, even when you don't follow my instructions, you bear me witness that that's how the greetings got corrupted. Instead of making sure that people hear you when you return the greeting, you just, sounds like you just saying, Alaikum Assalam. And that's not the greeting. That's a hypocritical greeting, which means you don't even think enough of what you're saying to make sure people understand you. And I'm getting tired of that. And you're going to make me tell you something. You think because you've been around me for years or whatnot, that gives you a free pass on following my instructions. You're going to find out that no, it don't. That's what happened to the Nation of Islam before. It was full of hypocrites. I'd rather have 10 people that's sincere than 100 million that ain't nothing but hypocrites. So you go on and keep on. You're going to meet me one day and you ain't going to like what you see. You sure ain't going to like what you hear. You notice when I greet you, I express the greeting properly. All right. So, I'm getting tired of having to say the same thing. But anyway, even with hypocrites, it shows me how the greeting of may Allah's salam alaikum got corrupted to I salam alaikum. Yeah. And if you ask one of them, what do ice mean? They don't know. Salam means peace. So what is the ice? What is that? Anyway, let me leave it alone. Ain't nobody saying nothing. You did right. You did right not to jump in right then. But anyway, I'm going to now let people have their opportunity that have disagreements with me on anything that I have said, or maybe want to, when you teaching people subject matter that they have been taught on to the contrary, you have to be prepared to argue with them. That's not something that I'm just now coming into the knowledge of. Since my computer kind of lagging today, Where is that in the Holy Quran? It says, argue with them in the best manner. One of y'all tell me.
Chapter 16, verse 125.
Chapter 16, verse 125. It says, call to the way of thy Lord with wisdom and goodly exhortation. That's just another way of saying, you remember Jesus said, I am the way?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Then call their attention to what the prophets had to say. That's what I do. I call you to what the messengers of God had to say. The messengers of God all agreed that peace has but one source. And that is Almighty God, Allah. Well, then, if you wishing people peace and mean it, you should wish them Allah's peace, since He's the only one that's got it to give. Is that right? Do you hear any of the scholars telling me that I'm wrong for that? Oh, they'd like to say something, because they like to be the boss. We've been sleep dead, as the messenger said to me. He said, look, and any of you who say he didn't say it to me, you just speak up. I'll be glad to hear you argue so I can shut your mouth. The messenger said to me, he said, look, son of man, if I swung that door back on them hinges, the whole world would want to come in here. You couldn't have standing room in it. He said, now look, since you are not used to ruling, and they are, until you learn to master this, I can't let them in here. Because you fall victim to their so-called knowing more than you. He said, but you're going to find out that you don't need them to teach you nothing. Islam is your nature. He said, you listen to me and give me 6 months. He didn't say give me no whole 30, 40 years. He said, give me about 6 months. And y'all have you so smart that you'll be able to time around your little finger and say, what's that on your finger there? And that's why I kind of chuckled when Geno Jennings asked me how long was I with the messenger. And before he passed, I said, well, I came in 73. And he said, so it wasn't but about 2 years. I said, yeah, about that. And he said, well, we've talked enough about this God creating himself. What about this white man is the devil? He thought he would. So I kind of chuckled. I said, well, okay. But anyway, he found out that he wasn't dealing with someone who was just a follower. That's just like thinking that now that John the Baptist was gone and meeting up with Jesus, thinking that you could deal with Jesus. With John himself. Well, I told Jesus, I need to be sitting down listening to you. But anyway, the messenger said that the black man that Allah created, Islam is my nature. That goes along with what the scripture said. It says, the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister. What does that say about all these people around here talking about they ministers now, after the messenger ain't here no more? Start at the top one, Minister Farrakhan. Ministering to who? Certainly not to me. I'm warning y'all, you better get yourself somewhere and sit down. Just like that old crazy judge there in Philadelphia. the jury came and asked him to explain one of those charges to him. He said he could re-quote it, but he can't. They have to go on their own on what it means. What kind of mess is that? I'll tell you what it is. Didn't I tell you they was gonna pay for what they did to doing to Dr. Cosby? He ain't at peace. He walking up and down the hall whistling. And I don't mean just whistling Dixie. He ain't seen nothing yet. Ain't none of you seen nothing yet. You're going to get what you got coming. You working in my time. And I ordered you to stop. And I showed it to you in the book. You know, and a police officer it stop you right by a sign that tell you what the speed limit is. And you tell him, I thought it just was a 70 mile per hour zone. And he said, you see that 55 there? Well, I thought, no, you just a lie. You ain't thought nothing. I didn't even, and he up there in front of you. Didn't even see you, didn't see you begin to slow down. You're lying. You go tell it to the judge. And the sad part is the judge talking to you now. Ain't nobody for you to go tell it to. You talking about, I'm gonna go pray to Allah. Allah ain't hearing you. Allah is with me. It's back like that little joke that little boy told when the preacher was standing up there. The little boy told his mama, he said, Mama, we leaving, going to church? Well, who gonna watch the beans? She had him on simmer real low. She said, God will watch him, baby. We gonna go on to church and God will watch. And the little boy got in church, and the preacher was saying, got to talking about God. And he said, and God, I can feel God's presence in here right now. And the little boy said, God at home watching my mom's beans. So I'm going to tell you right now, the closest to Allah any of y'all going to get is standing here talking to you. During this day and time, when you neglect me, whosoever don't honor me is dishonoring God. That's not my words. That's written. He that honoreth not the Son, honoreth not the Father which hath sent him. And he plainly wrote it down. It's in black and white. Son of man, I do send thee unto them. I got my orders in writing. Now, I told you many times that it's wrong for you to tell somebody to give up something and then expect them to give it up just because you said it. And they don't know nothing about you. But somebody been taught somebody, parents been taught somebody, teachers been taught something by their preachers, and all of these people, and they done all agreed on something. And now here you come contradicting all them people. And you want the people to just throw away what they have because you said it? No, it don't work like that. You have to be prepared to answer whatever questions they have and answer whatever arguments they present. As long as they have questions to ask you, you need to be ready with answers. Because you trying to get them to give up everything they have believed in. But the scripture says, all that a man have will he give for his life. He'll give up if he want to live. Huh? Once he realized that his life is at stake. You know, and I'm telling you, I tried to warn you before that shooting happened today. I told you it is some American white people that love their country to the death. And if they think that you in their government actually don't care nothing about their country and is trying to tear it up from within, they ain't gonna promise you nothing. You saw an example of that today. You don't play with a patriot. Do you know what white people sacrificed to become independent? How many lives? What about that man that stood up and said, the only regret I got, he wasn't begging for his life. He told me, I wish I had another life so I could fight you some more. I recognize that's a man. And if you don't feel that way about your people, then you are no kind of way his equal. How much you think you could have paid him to sell his country and his people out? And how much was he getting paid to fight? The good shepherd will lay his life down for the sheep. But the hireling, the mercenary, when he see the wolf coming, he said, I ain't signing up for this. Let me get out of here. He run. But the patriot will say, my only regret is that I don't have but one life to give for my country, for my people. What better ones to give it to than the ones who gave it to you in the first place? I will always respect that kind of person. So you better quit playing with these. If you don't care nothing about America, you better get out of the government. I'm telling you, there's people waking up and they ain't liking what they see. You talking about what black people gonna, you better be worried about what white people gonna do to you. Gonna come snatch your behind out of there. Okay, keep playing with them. You're gonna find out. Look, man, I done seen some diehard patriotic white boys. You think they're some of the nicest people. But you better not cross him. You better not let him think that you trying to do his country in. Okay? Keep thinking you dealing with Negroes. Keep thinking you dealing with slaves. It ain't slave you got to worry about. We don't carry guns. You know I ain't got no gun because you the only one selling them. Yes. You can be a crook on the police force, you can be a crook in the military or whatever. But make sure you understand, white people ain't scared of you. You saw them men in was that Nevada? Arizona? Was it Nevada? They didn't care nothing about the men that went there to Mr. Bundy's ranch, to his aid, to tell him, no, we're not going to let the government, nobody do that to you. But now, I'm telling you, you better check yourself before you wreck yourself, boy. You ain't gonna like the crew that you see coming to get you. All right. Now, I'm gonna leave that alone. Because I'm like this, man. You know, I remember when they first when the Nation of Islam first was starting to be taken in the wrong direction. I was working in Shabazz restaurant. I was waiting tables. And everybody knew how I felt about W.D. Muhammad because I was telling everybody that listen to me. That man ain't got no business leading nobody. And I didn't care who didn't like it. I'm up there thinking you gonna sell me no wolf tickets. I didn't stand up saying I believed in that man. And because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad passed don't mean that the teaching that he taught me is no longer good. That's something else you can learn from white people. The Constitution's still good 200 years later. When the ones who framed it up, they passed on. But them words they left in the Constitution didn't pass away. But documents are of no effect. Words are of no effect if there's no one to stand for them. So, when I couldn't get no help from some of them out there and found out that, yes, Silas stood up. Silas Muhammad. He stood up and he declared holy war on WD. And not going out trying to kill somebody. But, he stood up and he declared that. And so when he invited me over to his place, I went. And he was calling himself Prophet Silas. And I told him, he's just like what the messenger said about Marcus Garvey and Noble Drew Ali. He said they loved y'all, they wanted to help you, but they lacked the knowledge. But you can't call yourself a prophet now. Then you make a lie out of the one that you say you believed in. The messenger said, ain't no more prophets to come. And so, I told him this. I said, well, he asked me, why did I come over there? I said, because you invited me. And, but I said, the messenger said that he was the end of prophets. So, you calling yourself a prophet. You can't, how are you doing that? You see, I paid attention to the messenger. I wasn't just sitting there making noise and caught up in the whirlwind of being happy that somebody finally could stand up that looked like me, that could talk back to white people and didn't get shot down for it. Because frankly, I had never, the first time I experienced any kind of prejudice or segregation was when I joined the Marine Corps and was stationed at Quantico and went to a place that served only white people. And the white Marines that were with me, when I couldn't go in there, they said, well, then let's get out of here. Let's all of us leave. They didn't go in either. And we just left. But I had never seen that. So I grew up in Los Angeles. in an all-black town called Watts. The only white thing in there was the teachers, some of the teachers, and the school system and the police. And even there, it was a different type of action that they had with us. They wasn't just going around brutalizing black people. Because in the first place, I hadn't learned how to be scared of them. Most of us had. If we saw the police, we'd straighten up and we'd move along. But there wasn't no, and my dad loved me. I don't care who you was, he wasn't gonna let you harm his children. That's why them riots started out there with Mr. Detweiler, the Detweiler case. But it's not enough to want to get off under somebody because of just one incident or whatnot. You and me ought to have been wanting to get off under white people after 300, 400 years of slavery. We don't need no special happening. We shouldn't. Crisis orientated. Every time some crisis happens, then you rise up, and then when you get through blowing off steam, you go back to sleep. Well, I ain't here for that. I'm not here to fight white people to try to make them treat me right. No. The only thing I ask the white man is, look, let me get out your way so you don't have to mistreat me. Do you understand? If he let me get out your way, then me and him ain't got no problem. I'm among my own people trying to help my people. I ain't over in white people's neighborhood trying to integrate with them and all that kind of thing, and slipping around, slipping up on trying to get next to his daughter and all that stuff. I don't blame him for that. You got women, go to your own woman. Man don't want you over there sweethearting with his daughter. Now, you can't undo the past. What was done in the dark, in ignorance, well, that's done. Ain't nothing you can do to change that. And I'm not faulting you for it. But I'm telling you now, the things that people disagree with, white people understand that in order to stay white, they got to stay to themselves. They can't keep on mixing with everybody else. Pretty soon there won't be no white people. I don't fault the man for that. So, you have to give justice to people. Now, it's a lot of things I say to you that you don't. I'm old. I'm much older than most of y'all that's listening to me. And so even those who may be a few years, 12, 13 years past my age, or if you're lucky to be 20 years past my physical form's age, the mind that's in me is much older than the mind that's in you. You see? So a lot of things I say, I bring back to your remembrance that you forgot about. And then when I bring it up, you say, oh yeah, that sure did happen. But you notice, I remember these things. Now, I want to let you see how much I remember. Because you a lot of times think that I'm lying. But I told you, white people, and the messenger told you. He said, white people know God. They just can't represent him as you and me. Don't what? He got to get out of the seat of rulership and let you have a seat. And he ain't gonna just get up and give you the rulership. You gotta take him out of it. I'm taking him out of position of rulership. That's why I'm doing this in front of him. What is the point of talking about somebody behind the back? If you talking about somebody behind his or her back that people know have invited you to talk to them to their face, then even if people listen to you, they ain't paying you no attention. They're going to go away and say, oh, man, don't pay so-and-so no attention. Don't pay mom no attention. He's scared. He's scared of them people. He's scared of this. I don't care how much woofing he do. Well, why make you say that? Why don't he go and say it to them? Huh? You know, I have respect for a man who will come in like a man will do. A man, he will confront you. If you give him the opportunity to face you, he will face you. And tell you what his problem with you is. And you can make peace with that kind of man. But a coward, he fears and resents manhood. That's why he always got to get a gang to come after you. Do you understand? So, I want you to listen, because I told you, white people, even though they teach you in church, you're going to die and come back. Man, he takes his money serious. Do you understand? Now, he'll tell you the truth sometime, especially when he's dealing with money. So I want you to listen to this and then see what you think about it.
It's good to come home.
You feel like celebrating. And if you've got somebody waiting who's just as happy about it as you are, the celebration's even better. You only go around once in life. So you take each day with all the gusto you can. The life you live, the food you enjoy, even in the beer you drink. Why settle for less? When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer. The life you live, the food you enjoy, even in the beer you drink. Why settle for less? When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer. You only go around once in life, so you take each day with all the gusto you can. You only go around once in life, so you take each day with all the gusto you can.
Now, he telling you the truth in the commercial. You only go around once in life. You don't get another bite at the apple. Once you're dead, that's the end of you. Do you understand? Now, just a moment. I'm gonna let you see. Now he made quite a few commercials that he called that to your attention. Check this one out.
A treasure hunt isn't a kid's game when you're living and your life depends on it. The sharks don't play games. Their ancestors must have had quite a feast 250 years ago when a hurricane sank a fleet of Spanish galleons, along with $14 million in gold doubloons and pieces of eight. If you're lucky, you find some of it. If you're even luckier, you live to tell about it. And that's when you know that life really is. You're only go around once. You gotta go after all the gusto you can. Even if you go around once. You gotta go after all the gusto you can. You only go around once. You gotta go after all the gusto you can. Even in beer you drink. Twice every.
But the problem is, your memory about long as John was in the army. You'll see on them commercials, he telling you that you don't live but once. Then you go to church and you forget all about what he told you. You go to church and instead of just checking your coat, you check your intelligence. And you get in there and you next thing you know, you going for somebody to stand up there grunting and moaning and running back and forth across. You know, the book said that your adversary, the devil, walketh to and fro in the earth, seeking whom he may. Watch how preachers preach. They walk that side of the stage, then they walk back over there, and they walk back over there. How come he can't be still? It's hard to be still when you're lying. And many people packing now. It's much harder to hit a moving target. You got preachers standing up behind bulletproof glass now, man. And you be wondering, man. Thought he was God's man. If you ask a head preacher, why you up behind that bulletproof glass? You know, there's a hole in my until God get here. Anyway, I'm like this. What's for me, I'm gonna get. If Allah want to let you shoot me down, bulletproof glass ain't gonna stop it. They'll just wait until they catch me not behind. So. Do you understand? But if Allah say, no weapon formed against you gonna prosper. If he talking to me, well, he, you know what he did to Pharaoh? And that's a prophecy, because there never was no people in bondage in Egypt for 400 years. You don't have to wonder who the spiritual Egypt is. Just find a country where somebody was held in bondage for 400 years. That's some people been in bondage for 400 years. You found your Egypt. And so Pharaoh had planned to do something to the firstborn of the children of Israel. Why we say the children of Israel? Because the mind that you understand something. The white man ain't been no child of Israel. You ain't heard the white people walking around calling each other boy and girl all the time. That's the way they refer to us. And you know, children are obedient to their parents. They shall serve them, and they shall afflict them. For how long? 400 years. Now, name some of the names. I'm talking to everybody now. I ain't just talking to white people. See, white people know I don't hate them. That's what makes some of them mad when they come in here calling me nigger. You know that boy come in here and call me nigger. He think that's supposed to get a rise out of me. It gets a rise out of me, all right. I'm telling you, it annoys me. But not for the reason he thinks. It annoys me as much as I would have got on my running buddies if we was, you know, man, if you walked in front of a church and cursed, and the way I was brought up, somebody would have told you, hey man, what is your problem? Can't you see where you at? I mean, we cursed. We didn't do it on no church ground. Well, that's just the way it was. And you sure didn't go into no religious service cussing out the preacher. I don't care what he was preaching. If it was a religious service, you didn't go in there clowning. That was just understood. These people are totally unwashed. They got no cleanliness in their mind at all. Man, like this fellow who kept on muting his phone to come in here and talk filth. That man is like the book says he's swine. A pig is a pig no matter where you take him. He have no shame. So trying to shame him, you can forget that. I mean, anytime a creature will roll around in his own feces. Huh? I mean, you wash him up. He ain't satisfied till he go roll in the mire and get nasty again. Then he happy. He eat until he get sleepy, until he get full for a minute, and then he lay down in it. He'll lay down in his own food, and he won't even ever. He's so ungrateful that he never even look up to see who feeding him. Huh? You know, if he may have a tail, but do you ever see him wagging it? Well, I'm just telling you, a dog wag his tail when he see his master come up. That's his way of showing he recognized you. The messenger told me, no, I wasn't raised on no farm, but I paid attention. The messenger said, the only time the old pig look up is if you stop dropping it down. You stop dropping food down there, then he want to look up as if to say, what's the matter for you? Huh? The more you feed a hog, the more he eat. He's a walking sewer, and he answers to it. Suey, suey, and here he comes. Who taught him to answer to that? You didn't have to sit him down and say suey. No, just that he come. He almost said his own name the way he squealed. Yeah, and then you want to go eat him? I don't care if you white as snow or black as tar. Don't eat another bite of pig. You taking in a living poison. Don't eat that animal. He's good for what he does, but he's not good for food. Remember, even in the Bible, the devil said, let us go. And if you're going to cast us out, let us go into the swine. That's to let you know that some people's minds, they are like swine. And so the devils, the corrupt language, corrupt thoughts, corrupt intentions, they are susceptible to those things. The devils go into them. Do you understand? Okay. You notice on the pictures where they show you devil, it's one, I don't forgot the name of it, but these people was trapped in this diner, and the devil was outside, and it had some blood or something that was blocking the windowsill and different things, and The only way the devil could come across there is somebody inside had to invite him in. Do you understand? Devils can't just take up residence in you unless you entertain them. You have to be willing to entertain evil thoughts. They don't just break in and just hang out. They hang out if you entertain them. It's not a one of us that don't have evil thoughts. We all have evil thoughts. And those are called our devils. But if you resist the devil, just like a circuit board, they used to have what is called transistors and resistors. They don't call them transistors and resistors now, but they're the capacitors and all of these things that they have in these microchips and whatnot. They still serve the same purpose. They resist the flow of electricity. They just don't call them resistors. But you and I have to resist you can have the thought, but it don't become you unless you act on it. Resist temptation. Resist the devil. But there's a lot of times you may feel like you want to do harm to somebody or do that. All of us get them feelings. You have to resist that. And remember the golden rule. As you would like people to do to you, do that to them. You know, it's just like when this brother. Now you're gonna think that you can think what you want, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. Whenever I started a fight with this brother, his name was Preacher. And his real name was Claude, but we called him Preacher. See, and I was in my teens. We was both in high school, I think around the 10th grade or whatnot. And like I said, I was all boy. I grew up in Watts, and you had to learn how to fight. And so I didn't too much like Preacher secretly. And at the same time, when them little girls is out there, you always trying to show off sometime. But anyway, we was playing football and I tackled John L., his little brother, and hurt him. And the preacher said, why'd you hit him so hard? I didn't even bother to explain. Hell, fight, you know. I was wrong. And but I figured I could outbox Preacher, and I figured I could, you know, I'm gonna show off now. And Allah blessed him to come around with. I mean, I couldn't even get out of the way of it. Knew how he swang, and I still, and he hit me in my jaw and broke 3 of my back teeth. And I was standing up there rocking and going on because I was about to fall out. He stopped. Well, that was all I was doing too. Because generally folks are going to church on you when you. But anyway, and while I was standing there, I was thinking in my mind, I got what I deserved because I shouldn't have did that. It's hard to fight when you don't have nothing to fight for. I mean, unless you just a devil, the black man got to have a reason to fight. You can't go around bullying people. That's not our nature. We fight in defense of us, of something, someone, or ourselves. But just to go fight? No. Mm-mm. So you notice the name Solomon actually means man of peace. You see, we don't walk around here. You ain't found no black people with no nuclear weapons. When we made them, we made weapons much stronger than this stuff they got. That's how the moon got out there. So, it don't, treat people like you want to be treated. It's just like me. I got what I should have got. But when it came again, and he tried to turn the tables on me and go every time he felt like he think he was gonna come and do something to me. No, that wasn't gonna work. So we fought again, but didn't go down like that because he started it and I was right, and so we. Most of the time somebody broke us up before we got into it real good. But, like I told him, man, ain't your hot dog. You be coming in here thinking you going to take something out on me because you got a lucky punch in. No, that don't work. Not for me. Look, if somebody give you a good behind whipping, then next time that they want to come and bully you, did you live through that last one? You lived through another one. But learn something from the last one. Whatever mistake you made in the last one, don't make that mistake no more and turn the table. Learn from your experiences. I know I do. You think you're gonna bully me? No, you ain't gonna bully me. You might whoop my behind, but you ain't gonna bully me. That's why lions don't go looking for tigers when they get hungry. Because even if he overcome the tiger, he gonna be too sore to eat. Do you understand? So I just go in the way of peace. If I put my hands on you for no reason or whatnot, I would expect you to take them off, and I would expect you to defend yourself, because that's what I would do. So I'll keep my hand to myself. Don't provoke me, and you ain't got nothing to worry about with me. Your words ain't gonna provoke me. But you put your hands on me, now you provoke me to have to put mine on you. Do you understand? And since you started it, I know what Allah said. He loves not the aggressor. So, treat people like you won't be treated. Give everybody the same respect and courtesy that you want to be given. Always. You don't have to like a person to show them respect. You just have to respect yourself. Okay. Now, you remember I also told you that that some of the names of the devil, he the white man didn't just call himself devil when he said, well, speak up the devil. He also would say, what's up, bub? And that that's short for Beelzebub. And that is that name means the Lord of Flies. And he's called the prince of this world because this world is a kingdom. It is a knowledge. And so he's the prince of this world. He's the son of perdition, Beelzebub. And the Allah made him, and that's why in you notice, who did the Jews say was going to take away their authority and their nation? They was afraid of the Romans, wasn't they? Where's Rome located? Huh? I didn't hear you. Don't be scared if you don't know. Just say, I don't know. And if you do know, do me the same courtesy that I do y'all. I speak loud enough for you to hear. Okay. Italy. Now, who's famous for the mafia? And you remember when the scripture said, and so God made man in his image after his likeness? Who called himself the Godfather? Where that term come from? And when they get ready to, once they find out your roots and everything, make sure that they can trace you back, then you can be a made man. Do you understand? Is that right? God said, let us make man. Well, I'm trying to show you that these people ain't been hid. They've been out in the open like them trees and stuff that's outside right now. Just like all them cars and stuff that's outside right now, but you can't see them because you're in the dark. Do you understand? But I'm going to let you see them now. But first, I want you to see that I didn't lie to you. I remember commercials when I was a little boy and when I was a teenager. I was a teenager. But look at this commercial here.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sister asked if there a difference between when the pig is raised or organic.
Ain't no such thing as an organic pig. I understand something. That's like asking me, is a piece of glass a diamond if you cut it right? No. It's still a piece of glass. He's still just a pig. And he's full of worms. If you've heard of the disease called trichinosis, it gets its name from the worm that's in the pig called the trichina worm. And that worm, he begins multiplying into the thousands and millions when he get inside of you. That's why Allah had to protect us by causing them worms to die as we was eating them pigs. But now the scripture says, and their worm dieth not. That's why you finding people with all kind of old crazy diseases of the brain and all of this kind of thing now is because you are not being protected from eating poison when the truth have been made clear to you. You don't hear no reverends, no religious people, no doctors, no scientists. Do you hear any of them coming in here trying to argue with me about what I'm saying? I'm talking to the whole world potentially right now on the internet. YouTube goes everywhere. The internet goes everywhere where there is computers. Do you hear anybody saying that what I'm saying is wrong? Whole community of jinn and men. Are not my messages being made clear to you? All right. Now, even after we started manifesting that the white man is the devil. You know what the Chinese used to say when they saw white people come into their country? There's a foreign devil. Well, it's the right way to say it too, because it was homegrown devils there too. Devils is everywhere now. We was devils, grafted. How do you call the chief, the one that's in charge, the devil, and he taught you and put you through his school, but you somehow came out what? You came out a saint? No, you didn't. You was just a grafted white man, and so was I. And if Allah had paid everybody, every soul, what it had earned, we wouldn't have to worry about it now. The earth would be empty as far as human beings go. I didn't say it would be everybody gone but me. I said it would be empty. But that's the difference in me and you. You see other people's wrong and you can judge others, but you can't acknowledge your own wrong. If I ask you, how many saints is in here? How many saints is in the audience listening to me? All that stuff y'all be talking on Sunday, giving unto God, saints and friends. I'm saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost. Come in here and tell me that. My next question is, who saved you? You through lying. I'm through letting you get away with lying. And I'm talking about telling people, you know, I don't go tell people that you're going to see your grandmama. I'm going to see my mama again. Did you put her on tape? You recorded it? If you recorded mama, and you know, some of them celebrations and whatnot, I got some celebrations that I recorded of my mother. I can see my mother again on that tape. But as far as talking about I'm going to go see my mama somewhere after I'm dead and gone, how can I say that and be truthful? Who came back and told you they went somewhere and saw some dead people, somebody that had died before? I'm through listening to your lies.
Excuse me, sir. Brother Kareem asked, who saved you? So this is what my question was on Acts 4:12.
Say what?
He said, this is what I've been told, that Jesus is the name that people are saved by.
How long people been using the name Jesus? And how many times have you heard somebody say, Jesus got shot? Huh? I mean, how many righteous people do you know of that call on the name Jesus and you can't find no unrighteousness in them? You know who taught you that lie? And here's your Jesus, yeah. There he is. That's the Jesus I knew when I was growing up. Yes, sir. And the very one who gave me his picture saying he was Jesus is the same man that lynching me, and he lynching Dr. Cosby now. It's Jesus' brother lynching Dr. Cosby. What you know? I remember this movie. I like some of the little sayings they come up with. So I might have been born yesterday, but sure wasn't last night. And I'm going to tell you something. All these people that try to interject the name Jesus, they don't believe in Jesus. Right? You know how you know? Just started asking them, share some of Jesus' teachings with me. They don't even recognize Jesus' words when they are quoted to them. You through lying to me? I ain't gonna let you come in here lying to me. Now, I believe in Jesus. I believe in Moses. I believe in David. I believe in Solomon. I believe in Isaiah and Jeremiah and Hosea and Ezekiel and Prophet Muhammad. I believe in all of the prophets and in all of their scriptures. And all of them say you are lying. Jesus said, you know how people talk about Jesus coming back? Lying on Jesus. He said, I go to my Father and you see me no more. Now, who I'm supposed to believe? Jesus' words or your lies? Actually, you're calling him a lie by saying he's coming back. Because Jesus said, I'm not going to judge you. The words that I'm speaking, that's what's going to judge you in the last day. Jesus coming back to judge us all. Show me that. Jesus said the Son of Man is the one that's going to judge you. Okay. So, you know, the white man, I got to keep coming back to him because he's the one that's been lying to everybody. He the one told you about Jesus being murdered, and he said, you know, you don't even know the difference. You and I didn't even have sense enough to question the white man and tell him, hey, wait a minute, something ain't right here. What do you mean? You said Jesus died on the cross for me. But you turn around when I read it, it don't say he died. It says y'all hung him up there. You nailed him to it. That's murder, man. And you know what he tell you? Oh, I can't talk to you. I say I can't talk to you. No, you can't talk to me and lie to me. I know the difference in somebody dying and somebody being murdered. So is that what you want me to believe, that murder is God's plan for my salvation? If I buy that, then the God that said thou shalt not kill couldn't have did that. Then who are we worshiping? The devil. That's why the devil got a saying in this world. I done heard you say it. No good deed will go unpunished. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. How do you say that? You say that if you're talking to the devil. If no good deed will go unpunished, no evil deed will go unrewarded. So you get reward for evil. I remember this cowboy that used to come on, wanted dead or alive. Wanted dead or alive. What does that mean? If you kill him, you get paid for it. What is that? And they call them bounty hunters. And most of the rewards come when the man is brought in, he's draped over a saddle because he's dead. gave you a reward for murder and made it seem fair. Now, I'm going to let you see something else here. I want you to see these things. Now, I remember I told you about this a long time ago, and some of you didn't know nothing about it. Well, I found it.
I'd like to fly with the coach, Pub. Sorry, Bub, no pub. Do you have the pub lounge? Sorry, Bub, no pub. You say there's no pubs on your flight.
Sorry, Bub, no pub?
If you want the pub, you have to fly Continental DC-10.
Oh, Continental. Thanks. You're on this Continental flight too, of course. You fly Continental. Sorry, Bob. No pub.
Try to have a nice trip anyway.
So, you know, this is our record that speaks against you with truth. Surely, we caused you to record what you did. You know? So now I'll let you see some other truth. You know, it's things that you need to know that he's been showing you. What did the scripture say? How did the scripture say you know a man? His own works like a tree. An orange tree, when it produces anything, it's going to be oranges. Huh? A man's hands only do what his mind instructs him. Huh? I mean, let's think for a minute. A heart that deviseth wicked imaginations. What do you call underworld? Huh? Dracula and Frankenstein. Is that a good imagination? Now, can you imagine waking up to a creature? That's the stuff nightmares is made out of. As the book says. A deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a nightmare of great darkness fell upon him. Huh? What's another name for the devil? Blank of darkness. What? A horror of great darkness. A horrible people of great darkness fell upon us. Huh? And he said unto Abram, know of a surety, your children going to be strangers in this land that's not theirs, and they shall serve them, and they shall afflict them. Are we afflicted? That's why we can't unite, because we're afflicted. Afflicted why? In the head. In every generation, they put the same affliction on us. Y'all the future leaders. Every graduating class is the future leaders. I'm waiting on them to say who's going to follow. If everybody the leader, who's going to be the followers? And then we had a saying when I was growing up. I don't know if they still say it, but they sure still acting like they say it. A nigga can't tell me nothing. You ain't never heard that, huh? Yeah, you done heard probably said it. But the truth of the matter is, that's one of our sayings. And that is a Caucasian mind in us saying that. Only one can tell you something is white people, right? why you keep on running to them, telling them how Black Lives Matter. How come you don't come and tell your own people, Black Lives Matter and Black life should matter, and so let's get together and make life better for ourselves. No, you want to get a movement going that maybe some white people will take notice and set some funding aside so you can be the president of it and do like all these other groups that's been around here all this time and ain't nothing changed. When are you going to say that's enough? Jabril, go and set that arrow, move it up a notch so that it'll shut off. Got kind of chilly in here for some of it. So I want you to understand that I'm not here to put you against anyone. I'm here to put you against evil. Period. I want you to hate the doing of evil. And before you start calling yourself condemning others, you get the evil out of you. You ain't the judge. And be thankful that you're not. That way you ain't got to be responsible for nobody but who? Yourself. So, listen to me, take in what I share with you, and grow. Now, let me show you this before we get into the theology of time. Now, I'm going to give you some excerpts from the movie Goodfellas. Just listen to him now.
I knew I still had till later 9 o'clock to talk Jimmy out of killing Maury. But meanwhile, as far as Jimmy knew, I was going along with the program.
I'm enraged. I wanted to kill this little jerk. I walk away. We start to go in the freaking train. Oh, I don't want to turn around. Jimmy's going like this. Get out of here. Don't say it.
It was like a load off my mind. Poor bastard. Never knew how close he'd come to getting killed. Even if I told him, he would have never believed me.
Jimmy, can I talk to you now? You know, you're something. You're really something. You want to talk now? Please. Okay, let's talk. Let's get it over with. Okay. I swear to God, I never met anybody like you my whole life.
Hey, who loves you more than I do, huh?
Guy.
I'd do anything for you.
Yeah, except to stop busting my chum. Come on, let's grab coffee.
Oh, you want to go to dine or what? We'll go to dine over there on the boulevard.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Which time?
Rockwood Boulevard.
Over
Over 24 hours. So.
Yeah.
They got Danish there? Yeah, they got everything. Look good. Yeah, let's pick up some Danish for Bell.
Hear about the points we were shaping up for Boston?
Oh, it is terrific. Yeah, Nunzio up in the...
Thought he'd never shut the hell up.
The pain in my neck.
Now, now you notice they just laughing and talking and ain't none of it real. It's like I remember when Brother Donald he schooled me on stuff like that. He said, "Look, brother, he was always just kind of cool, and laid back." He said, "Brother, don't ever think that just because people grin and laugh with you that all of it is real. He said, you're laughing and talking with people sometime, take about 10, 15 steps and then look back. And if that laughing and talking and that smile is gone, it wasn't real in the first place. See, Allah teaches me, he teaches me people. People are phony in this world. This world is a world of deception. They go in the way of Cain. That's a white man killing another white man. What was Hitler? Going in the way of Cain. Murderers. You notice what they call the priests. What do they call the Pope? Father. And then they kiss his hand, huh? You saw the Godfather? What they do to the Godfather? And now understand something. Now you understand what Jesus, it was revealed to. Remember, Jesus said, as the Father commanded me, so I speak. So did you think Jesus was making up what he was teaching for himself? No, he was inspired to say that. Remember when he picked up the book and read from the book of Isaiah and said, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, and he hath anointed me to preach deliverance to the captives and the recovering of sight to the blind. And then he closed it up and said, this day is this scripture fulfilled in your hearing. What is that? The Spirit of the Lord is upon me. He didn't say he was the Lord. And so when Jesus said, ye are of your father, the devil, it takes on a whole new meaning when I bring it up to you. As the messenger said it like this, I'll tell the devil in Rome that he's lying to you. Calling himself father. Yeah, he's the father of that lie that you've been running around here worshiping that gave him power over you. Wherever you find black people worshiping Christianity, you find them afraid of white people and taking all kind of garbage off of white people. Am I lying or telling you the truth? How in the world that man gonna respect you and you taking all of his garbage and you don't stand up and speak up for yourself? He won't let you come in his community and rape his women, beat his children. But you let him do it. You never even try to put a stop to it. You keep running to him. Because in your mind, it's my Jesus. I know one thing, you better wake up before you sleep forever. Because ain't gonna be no more generations of black people suffering the injustices that's coming now. I'm here to put a stop to it. One way or the other, I'm gonna put a stop to it. Now you will either benefit from my presence or you be destroyed by my presence. The weatherman, he don't know what to say about what's happening with the weather. He say rain, it get clear. He say clear, it get rain. Then he lied to you and act like everything is normal. So now watch this. Now he telling the truth on part of his history. This is his history. I mean, his whole history is just murder, bloodshed, war, deception. Don't tell me I don't have a right to show you history. He showed you the whole picture. I ain't trying to make no money off of his picture. I'm using his picture to show you that that's his works. Do you honestly think he would be showing himself doing those things if it wasn't true? Didn't want to come in here talking crazy to me. You know, there's a whole lot of things I could say. You know, just like, if I thought it would do some good to help that poor creature, I would have got in a back and forth with him. The man is a fool. You know what? How you call me nigger? And you made me this, and I learned to be nigger from you. And now you mocking me for it? You notice I don't mock white people for being devils, because he could easily say, well, look, man, you've admitted that you made us this. So are you telling me you punishing me for being what you made me? And you call yourself just? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said it in a different way. He said, I don't. He said, now don't go blaming them for what by nature you put in him. He said, blame yourself for putting it in him. He said, and if you say there goes the devil, then don't try patterning yourself after the devil. Show the devil that you are a righteous person, because he's watching you for such. The scripture says the wicked watcheth the righteous and seeketh to slay him. He said, just like your white cells, they watch the red cells in the not with eyes, but with able to know when one is diseased. And they will slay it if it's diseased. The wicked watcheth the righteous and seeketh to slay him. He said, so you show the devil that you're a righteous person, because he's watching you for such. And if you say to him he's not righteous, he will say to you, I was not my maker. And that'll stop your mouth. He gave white people something to say back to these who want to walk around here, mocking them as though they had something to do with how they was made. The clay can't say to the potter, what you make me this way for? We made him a promise. I'm keeping the promise. Now that cursed mind that we put on him, I'm here to remove. I'm here to heal him. And everybody who's sick with that mind. If you don't want no healing, well, you just go on and ignore me. And I'll fix you later. But right now, I'll let you see what that mind instructed him to do.
What am I doing? Get rid of him. Chop him up. Give him the cup. Call him when you're through.
I'm Frank. Let's chop him up.
All right.
Where you going? Where you going?
Come on. Chop him up.
Oh, Charlie's not here. We're going to chop him in.
Got it. I meant to go.
Come on. What are you doing? I could have shot letting him drive. What are you waiting for?
Wait, the car's cold. The Fiorial.
Get the hell out of here. We'll warm it up. Who is it? Bell, open up. Please. Oh, smartest kid to come home. He's missing. I know something's happened.
Calm down. Everything will be okay.
He's missing. I know something happened.
Probably drunk and fell asleep somewhere. I'll go looking for him in the morning.
27 years. He's never been away all night without calling. I know something's happened.
No,
I know you know.
Belle, let me go upstairs and get changed. I'll take you home, and then I'll go look.
Now, that's a case of when you lay down with dogs, why are you surprised when you get fleas? You hang out with murderers, with people who murder people. What make you think that when they fall out with you, that they won't murder you? To show you only a fool can be part of that. Do you honestly think that a murderer has honor? Yeah, right. Well, anyway, that's the problem. You know, now they done whacked her husband. Didn't have no problem when her husband was participating in the robberies and all that kind of stuff. You know, that's, you understand something. Where there is no love, where there is no God, there is no love. There is no honor. But you know, the only one whose word actually means anything is Almighty God Allah and those who believe in and honor Him. Everybody else, you hear people all the time say things that they know they don't mean, and then when you ask them, why'd you tell them that? Oh, I was just trying to get him out of my face. In other words, I was lying, and I didn't say anything to get that so and so, but they was grinning up in that person's face. And if that fits you, then now you understand that you are seen, and I'm trying to save your life. You better change. Everybody has to change if you want to keep sucking air on this planet. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. Now let me show you some more reasons here. Now you saw the one that was driving. Let me show you.
I've been home. I've been home. I'm on the phone. I've been calling. I've been
What do you want me to take down? What do I care? Someone ran off with some broad. What do you care about that? Watch this. Yeah, go fool him. I do it all the time. I bust the freaking chuck. Couldn't give him the satisfaction. Come on, let's go for a ride. Keep him up all night.
Now what he just did was, see the police watching them. And he went there and knocked on the door and called himself harassing them. Do you understand? And so that's why he said, keep them up all night. Let's But in the end, if you notice, I don't care what the crook is and what he was, in the end, he always gets what he got coming. The wages of sin. Huh? God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, what? That shall he also reap. They have sown the wind, and they shall reap the whirlwind. And when you reap, you always get more than you put out. You get that same thing back, but you get it multiplied. All right. Now, you know, it's a lot of people. You have to be careful what you say. You know, you notice they never did define what they meant when they said make America great again. Then they left it to the imagination of the people who was listening. What you think that man felt that was shooting at them senators and stuff today? He felt like, is this what this is what you call great? This ain't my idea of making America great again. They say he was even asking who was on the golf course. Was it Republicans or Democrats?
Yes, sir.
Do you think he just was out there? Do you think he hadn't talked to other people? You better quit playing with these people's country. Why do you think I'm careful of to show respect? I'm not going to invite people to do harm to me. And that's not what, you remember the devil told Jesus, it's written he gonna give his angels charge over you. He took him up on the pinnacle of the temple. Now, jump off, cast yourself down, and you know, if you're the son of God, his angels gonna save you. And Jesus said, it is also written, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. Just because Allah said he gonna take care of me, that don't mean I got to go around here disrespecting people. I live in this man's country. But why shouldn't I show his flag respect? Why shouldn't I show him and his people respect? If it was my country, I would expect him to do that. So that's what I do. It has nothing to do with being scared of him. It has to do with being afraid to do something that offends Allah and make him sorry that he chose me. Because he told Abraham, he said, now look, I'll protect. He told, remember Noah? He had a son, and his son was aloof. And Noah said, well, you told me you was going to take care of my family. He said, yeah. He said, but he's not of your family. He's the embodiment of unrighteous conduct. And my covenant is not with the wrongdoers. So, I don't do things purposely to offend people for no other reason than maybe racism or whatever. I can't do that. It's just like a judge when he gets to the point where he's willing to break the law, like these judges there and that prosecutor there in Philadelphia. They break their own law. But then there is no law. Because the law is only as good as the people who enforce it. So, you know, these people, they have no honor. If they didn't like that man, they could have just told him, look, man, don't come here no more. I'm through with you. But then they were scared he was going to rat them out because he had helped them steal something from a bank. Robbed, not a bank, but robbed a shipment of money off of a plane. But anyway, so he laid down with dogs, and one day he didn't get up. You saw what happened to him. Then his wife knew something had happened. How did she know something had happened? So she wasn't as dumb as she was playing either, was she? There you go. Don't play innocent. So,
Excuse me, sir.
yes,
With Kareem asked, was it Isaac or Ishmael who Abraham was prepared to kill?
it was actually Isaac. Allah had told him to go. He had already tested him with Ishmael because he told, for Sarah's sake, he said, you go and take the woman, Hagar, and her child and leave them in the wilderness. And Abraham obeyed that. And then when Sarah produced a child, he told him, now, I want you to sacrifice him. After Abraham had built a relationship with Isaac, obviously he had built a relationship with him because he had the conversation with Isaac. It wasn't when Isaac was first born. It was after he got close to Isaac. Now, why did Allah tell him to go and sacrifice Isaac? It was because Allah was trying him to make sure that what appeared to be Abraham's submission and love of him was not just a mirage. Do you understand? Because what would the average person have said? After he done got close to Isaac, then the Lord tell him, now I want you to go and sacrifice him to me. Well, you made me give up one, now you're making me give up. No. Oh, that's how it is. But Abraham didn't say a word. He said, I hear and I obey. And he took Isaac and was getting ready to sacrifice him. And once he was about to do it, the Lord stopped him. Said, Abraham, no, don't touch the land. And he even checked Isaac out. Because Abraham told Isaac what he was ordered to do. And that manifested that Abraham had not only taught, he didn't just believe in Allah, he taught his sons, his children, to believe in and obey Allah, even if it costs your life. And he told Isaac that we've been ordered to go, Allah wants us to go and make sacrifice. And when he got up there, Isaac asked him, where's the sacrifice? He said, I've been ordered to sacrifice you, son. And Isaac told him, he said, then Father, do as God has commanded you. And, it's just like with our slavery. You would think that people that have been mistreated, like we have been mistreated by white people. I mean, not just 12 years, not just 50 years, not just 100 years, but for 400 years we have been here being mistreated by these people. And because we found in the Word of God that was God's will. We ain't looking for no revenge. We just now want to please Allah and get out from under these people. It pleases Allah that we get out from under them. That's why I'm able to stand here and say these things to you in front of them. And they can't open their mouth. And you ain't never heard no other man stand up in front of the whole world and talk like me. The closest one you heard was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And even him, you had all this feedback from all these know-alls out here. What happened to the know-alls? I shut them up. As he told them I would do. So now, I want you to see See this here. Watch what start happening to all of them who helped rob the thing. Watch this.
All right. I'll see you later.
Now look who's looking at these dead bodies in these cars. See, them crooks didn't care nothing about children seeing their handiwork. Huh? The scripture referred to these people that have been ruling as beasts. Lions don't care who see them kill something and devour its carcass or whatnot. And they leave it laying there and don't care after they finish with it, they don't care who come along and see it. Huh? Now just watch.
Jimmy was cutting every link between himself and the robbery, but it had nothing to do with me. I gave Jimmy the tip and he gave me some Christmas money. From then on, I kept my mouth shut. I knew Jimmy. He had the cash. It was his. I know he kicked some money upstairs to Paulie, but that was it. Made him sick to have to turn money over to the guys who stole it. He'd rather whack them. Anyway, what did I care? I wasn't asking for anything, and besides, Jimmy was making nice money with me through my Pittsburgh connections. Still, months after the robbery, they were finding bodies all over.
Remember I told you to watch the driver? That was the driver of the car that night, remember? You see, I mean, what? You think somebody care, a man who murders people while he just got through drinking and eating with them and laughing and talking with them, you think he has some loyalty to you? And that's the kind of world you've been living in. People poison your food while grinning up in your face. I remember Brother Azali was working at one of the Sizzlers up there in, is Brother Azali still here? Well, he was working at one of the Sizzlers up there. You remember when that scandal came out about Jimmy Swaggart? Yeah. When he was riding around in his limo without his clothes on and stuff like that. But Jimmy Swaggart came into Sizzler, one of the places. I don't know if it was Sizzler's or not. What was the name of that steakhouse that he was? But anyway, Brother Zolly was one of the meat cutters, and sometimes he'd chef in there. And so some of the white waiters, they saw Jimmy Swaggart come in there, purposely dropped his steak on the floor, and then spit on it. And then put it on the plate and asked Brother Zolly to take it out there. And he said, no, man, I'm not taking it out there to that man. You just don't know how low down people can be. And it's not the flesh that's doing it. It's that wicked mind that's in them. Have they thought about the fact that if you will do that and people see you do that to other people, what makes you think when you go out to eat somewhere that ain't nobody doing that to you? What a fool you are. You don't get a chance to really practice religion until you're dealing with people that you don't like. That's when you need to remember to treat other people like you would like to be treated. Don't nobody have to tell you that about your friends. It's when you would rather mistreat a person that the word of God is there to point out, resist that devil there. Don't you do that. You treat that person like you would like to be treated if the shoe was on the other foot. You understand? Now, you keep watching. I'm gonna let you see. Remember what I told you about a made man? Let's just watch.
When they found Carbone in the meat truck, he was frozen so stiff it took them 2 days to thaw him out for the autopsy. I never saw Jimmy so happy. He was like a kid. We had money coming in through my Pittsburgh people, and even after a while, the Lufthansa thing began to calm down. The thing that made Jimmy so happy that morning was that this was the day that Tommy was being made. Jimmy was so excited, you'd think he was being made. He must have made.
Have you ever thought about what that means to be made? Why do they use that terminology? Most of them actors don't even know what that means. You remember the scripture says that no man could buy or sell save he that had the mark of the beast in his right hand or in his forehead, or had the name of the beast or the number of his name. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, you have some people that did not know that they actually was devils, white people. But some had been made aware of what the real deal is. Do you understand? A made man. Let us make man in our image after our likeness. Then he needs to learn who he really is. Do you understand? That's why, see, this fella that think he's about to be made, they about to whack him because he killed a made man. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, a life for a life. Do you understand? You could do a lot of things with them, but you can't go and kill someone who is aware and made aware of what the real deal is. And he had to be strictly Italian. They put that in there. Now, I'm going to tell you something. The devil couldn't rule if he did not know he the devil. And he also had to know who God is. It's just like the symbolic thing that the Pope does when he get off of an airplane. He kisses the earth. Lick the dust. Dust shalt thou eat. And most people haven't taken the time to look at that headdress that he wears with the two things streaming down the back. and it looks like a serpent's head. That cap that he wears. Nobody paid that no attention. But I would welcome them to come in here and call themselves arguing with me. It's time for you to know the truth. Christianity is not from Allah. It is the devil's counterfeit of the real religion. He takes the Bible knowing that you didn't understand it, and then he attributes the religion that he's teaching to the Bible. And you never even took the time to realize that the word Christianity is not even in the Bible. They call the church the Roman Catholic Church. It had nothing to do with God. It had to do with the Romans. So, just listen.
4 calls to Tommy's house. Had a signal all set up so he'd know that the minute that the ceremony was over.
What? Oh, I'm leaving. I've been here all the way. Let me just get you. Oh, you think I look good? That's wonderful. Just be careful. Congratulations, I'm sure. I love you. Don't paint any more religious pictures.
Now, what gets me is it's like a lion. You notice you'll see a lion with its own cubs and its own pride, and all beasts. You watch them interact with their own little offspring and everything. They're just as gentle and loving, ain't they? Then you see how they treat other people's offspring and whatnot. They eat them up. That's the way of a beast. It's just like these people just couldn't rest. Even when they saw white people, there was millions of white people that were losing their homes, having to mortgage their homes to try to save their loved ones who were sick, and that what they call the Obamacare, the Affordable Health Care Act. They changed the name to Obamacare to make it sinister. And it was a lot of Caucasian people that was benefiting from that. And they just can't rest. They ain't happy to have to take taxpayers' money and spend it on taxpayers. See, that's if the money is there, they're taking it in taxes to help subsidize that Obamacare, to help kind of a matching fund type of thing. And they're using the taxes, some of the taxes that they take from the people to help provide health care for the people. But if that money is being spent on health care, it can't be stolen. So they tell the people that this is no good. And then they vilify that as un-American or anything. Now they done all but good at it. And let me tell you something, that stuff gonna blow up in your face. I'm warning you. It's gonna blow up in your face. All you bought and paid for people that don't know nothing about real, don't have the slightest clue of how government works. They just went and found them, put a suit and tie on them and a nice haircut, and gave them a speech to say, like these news people. They ain't no news people no more. They just get on there. You could be the news person now. All you do is get on there and can read. But anyway, but watch this. Now he one of the fellas who's a bad actor in there. He's been whacking people, been doing some of everything. But now he's rejoicing because he's finna get made. He's gonna be untouchable after he's made. Do you understand? Now watch this.
Be careful. God be with you.
You know, we always called each other good fellas. Like you'd say to somebody, you're gonna like this guy, he's alright. He's a good fella, he's one of us. You understand?
Good fella is short for God's fellow. What is that? Let us make man in our image after our likeness and let them have dominion. And then God blessed them and told them to be fruitful and multiply and go and replenish the earth. That's where you get the term republic. Replenish means to replace the as many of the originals as you need to in order to put yourself in their place. Replenish the earth and subdue it. That means to take it by force, to overpower whoever you need to overpower, as Mr. Shabazz said, that he would make a people that would be so strong that nothing could defeat them. Subdue it. You are strong enough. I will give you the knowledge of how to go and take it. And they went all over the earth taking over and subduing, subjugating the natives. Do you understand? And that's what that was his manifest destiny. And he didn't take it to necessarily do anything with it. He took it just to take it and enjoy himself on it for a while. He didn't know that the reason we sent him to do that is to create a need for a wiser black man. And once we created the dissatisfaction and the need, then the genes of the black nation went into production. And we started producing until we produced Elijah and we produced the Son of Man. And now he was told after 6,000 years that the Mahdi, the Son of Man, would come. Stop your work then, or you'll be put to death. So so he's a good fellow, meaning God's fellow, God's man that he said he was going to make. Do you understand? Okay.
Man, we were good fellas, wise guys.
Notice the term wise guys. Why is that? Wise to what's really going on, to a degree. He knew that he's the devil. Now they was going to make him aware of what the rules are. But he had broken a rule before he got made. And nothing they could do but bring the law down on him. Do you understand? Okay. Before he got made aware, he broke a rule. He should have kept his hands off of a made man. Huh? Okay.
Jimmy and I could never be made because we had Irish blood. It didn't even matter that my mother was Sicilian. To become a member of a crew, you've got to be 100% Italian so they can trace all your relatives back to the old country. See, it's the highest honor they can give you. It means you belong to a family and a crew. It means that nobody can screw around with you. It also means you can screw with anybody, just as long as they aren't also a member. It's like a license to steal. It's a license to do anything.
Alright, thanks, Vinny. Hey, how many years?
Have dominion. Do what you please. For how long? 6,000 years. Now his time is up. And now when he tries to do that, his mind is going to be taken. Do you understand? So that he will understand that you don't mess with Allah. When Allah orders you to do something, you do it. Or you suffer the consequences. And you do not disrespect Allah.
So was you was made?
I'm almost 30 years ago.
30 years, huh?
Yeah.
Brings back a lot of memories.
And how?
Like speak with your pickles now, wasn't it?
As far as Jimmy,
You remember when he was laughing and talking with that other fella before he stuck an ice pick in his brain? Yeah. Watch this. Now they laughing and talking with him, ain't they? What?
concerned with Tommy being made was like we were all being made. We would now have one of our own as a member.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Who's this? This is Vinny. Vinny, what happened? What, we get straightened out? No, we had a problem. I mean, we tried to do everything we could. What do you mean? Well, you know what I mean. He's gone. And we couldn't do nothing about it. That's it. What do you mean? What do you mean? He's gone. He's gone. That's it. Go inside here. They whacked them. They freaking whacked them.
It is amazing how people can really cry and go on when someone they care about is murdered. But they laugh and have a party when they're murdering other people's loved ones. To show you how unjust the mind that's in them is. Do you understand? You ought to all want to receive what I'm here to give you. If you don't want it, well, the mind you do have is evaporating. I know you don't believe it. I see it. You one don't see it. A crazy person don't know a person that's going crazy. The average one don't know they're going crazy. You got to have some sense to question your sanity. You see, most people that's insane, are going insane, they don't ever question their sanity. They think it's something wrong with everybody else. And they become more and more permissive of whatever they think they ought to do. They just do it. You understand? That's a sign of insanity. When you don't ever question your own actions, yeah, that's a sign of insanity. Unless you think you're perfect. I ask you, how many of y'all think you're perfect? Then why wouldn't you question your own actions from time to time before you do something? Don't you ask yourself, is this the right thing to do? Get another opinion. And don't get the opinion of somebody who ain't got no more sense than you. Go and hear somebody argue against what you have to say or do. And see if your justifiable reason is really justifiable. Anyway, now at the end, he starts telling, they get them all in court. And they start telling. And watch this. I'm just going to cut to the chase here. Then you'll see.
consideration. Let me go someplace it's not cold.
Okay, can I ask you some questions here? What about my parents?
What about them?
Am I going to see them? Am I going to talk to them? I mean, don't I have some kind of contact with them?
No.
No. No, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that God forbid something happens to my parents and they get sick, I can't go and see them?
Maybe something can be worked out. If they're sick, if there's some extraordinary set of circumstances, maybe something can be worked out.
I can't do this, Henry. I can't. I can't leave my parents.
Excuse me, Karen. I told you before, I'm not going to do this unless you and the kids come with me. I can't do it without you, okay? So, you do whatever, but that's it.
You need Henry. You don't need me, right?
That's right. And frankly, I don't care whether you're going on. If it's going to make him a happier witness, a better witness, I'd like you to be with him.
They want Henry. They don't want me.
But Henry's going to be in a witness protection program. They're not going to be able to get to him. The only way they can get to him is by getting to you, getting to your kids. If he goes into the program, forget about it. You're in a great deal of danger.
I don't know anything.
Come on, you don't know anything. Don't give me the baby in the woods routine, Karen. I've listened to those wiretaps, and I've heard you on the telephone. You're talking about cocaine. Conversation after conversation, you're talking to Henry on the phone. It doesn't matter, because whether he goes to jail or whether he stays on the street, he beats the...
Now, I'm going to tell you something. God didn't just make one kind of snake. He made a lot of snakes. And they have a snake called a king snake. And guess who he go around eating up? Now, these boys thought they was tough. And you know, it's just like, you know, in order to keep order and in order to have governments, there had to be some one to put all these crooks in check. They call them their police. They call them enforcers, law enforcement people. And you heard what he told that woman. Look, don't be giving me no baby in the woods thing. I heard them wiretaps. We know what you was up to. Huh? She shut right up, didn't she? And so, you know, they know how to check each other. Elliot Ness now put a check on Al Capone and all of them. You know, run around acting tough. But he wasn't scared of Al Capone. Huh? Him and the untouchables, they dealt with him. You notice when J. Edgar Hoover was around, J. Edgar Hoover didn't take no mess off of nobody. Do you understand? Presidents or nobody else. So, you know, it is time now for the change of worlds. That's why this world is coming apart. Make no mistake, this is Allah's doing. This ain't got nothing to do with you. Allah don't just say something. He's the doer of what he says. It ain't left a chance. No. There's no leaving nothing to chance. The Holy Quran says Allah is the doer of what he intends, of what he prophesies. So, now, watch this.
Case. He's a dead man. He knows it, and you know it. What about the kids with school?
They get left back. I mean, what goes on?
Once you guys put on the Wall Street, whoever sold you those suits had a wonderful sense of humor.
What it comes down to, Karen, is we're basically your only salvation. We're going to save your life, we're going to save his life, and we're going to keep you out of jail. Mr. Hill, this morning you told the members of this jury about your background.
It was easy for all of us to disappear.
Told them about your
My house was in my mother-in-law's name. My cars were registered to my wife. My social security cards and driver's licenses were phonies.
Hijacking.
I never voted. I never paid taxes. My birth certificate and my arrest sheet.
Conway.
That's all you'd ever have to know I was alive.
See him here in the courtroom today? Yes. Could you please point him out to the members of the jury? Your Honor, please let the record reflect that Mr. Hill has identified the defendant, James Conway. Mr. Hill, do you also know a man by the name of Paul Cicero?
Yes.
Do you see him here in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Can you point him out to the members of the jury? Your Honor, let the record reflect that Mr. Hill has identified the defendant, Paul Cicero. Your Honor, I have a document that I'd like to have marked.
See, the hardest thing for me was leaving the life.
Government Exhibit 12.
I still love the life. And we were treated like movie stars with muscle.
Now, why did he say the hardest thing for him was leaving the life? He wasn't worrying about being loyal to them people. He knew them people would kill him at the drop of a hat. Only a fool try to be loyal to somebody who he knows that the minute he get upset with you or whatever, your life ain't worth nothing to him. Wasn't worth nothing before that. But anyway, he he telling the story now. Let me explain something to you. They've been wanting to tell it. It's just that they couldn't tell it because it wasn't time. Well, now it's time. You notice how they keep playing the Godfather over and over. Letting you see the game, how this world really been operating. What do you want to keep going? You want drugs to keep destroying your children. You want your school system to almost be non-existent. You don't want no righteousness nowhere in your society. Well, tell me, would you rather have righteous people in charge of your community or people that's gangsters? Where you got to walk around afraid all the time. Do you know what it says about this society when everybody thinks that they need a gun? Then they won't be honest and say what they need it for. They just say, I need to be able to protect myself. Because they'd be ashamed to tell you who they think they need protection from. They need protection from people that they call neighbor. Don't have no love for each other. Watch this.
We had it all just for the asking. Our wives, mothers, kids, everybody rode along. I had paper bags filled with jewelry stashed in the kitchen. I had a sugar bowl full of Coke next to the bed.
People call him rats because a rat will do anything to survive. Isn't that right, Mr. Hill?
Objection! Objection,
Look, I don't know nothing about being a rat.
Mr. Hill, you know everything about being a rat.
Objection, Your Honor. To do with the violence?
Anything I wanted was a phone call away. Free cars, the keys to a dozen hideout flats all over the city. I'd bet 20, 30 grand over a weekend, and then I'd either blow the winnings in a week or go to the Sharks to pay back the bookies.
And I guarantee you, everybody who gets crooked money, they get crooked money, and I guarantee you, they go through it like water. Because they're a bunch of crooks. That's why you can't never get enough. It's, anyone who lives their life for kicks, from one kick to another, don't make no difference how much wealth they get. They will never accomplish anything. And whatever they build, it will crumble. Because anything material, in order to be sustained, it has to have someone that has enough character to sustain it. And if it's something that is against righteousness, you ain't never going to be able to sustain it. I don't care how wise you are. It will only endure for a season. And the season for wickedness has come to its end.
Matter. Didn't mean anything. When I was broke, I would go out and rob some more. We ran everything. We paid off cops, we paid off lawyers, we paid off judges. Everybody had their hands out. Everything was for the taking. And now it's all over. And that's the hardest part. And today everything is different. There's no action. I have to wait around like everyone else. Can't even get decent food. Right after I got here, I ordered some spaghetti with marinara sauce, and I got egg noodles and ketchup. I'm an average nobody. Get to live the rest of my life like a schnook.
So, you know, I just find light everywhere. Light of understanding of where I'm at and who everybody is. Everybody is an open book. There's no sense in you walking around here trying to act like you are better than everybody else or whatnot. You was educated by the same educational system as everybody else. And you're all corrupt. And you are corruptible. The only thing that will purify you of the corruption and then make you incorruptible is what I'm teaching. And this is over here in the book of Romans, the 13th chapter. Remember now, we revealed it on the night of power, the night where the power of darkness would last for 6,000 years. That's why the Holy Quran, it says we revealed it on the night of majesty. And what will make you comprehend what the night of majesty is? It's longer than 1,000 months. It says better than 1,000 months, just like when it's better than 1,500, 1,800 miles from Mississippi to Los Angeles. It's better than 1,800 miles. Well, it's longer than 1,800 miles. And likewise, it's the night of majesty is longer than 1,000 months. It's a time of spiritual darkness where Allah said he would wink at spiritual ignorance. Do you understand? And so, look what the 12th verse of the 13th chapter of Romans says. The night is far spent. Man, the night is almost over, man. It says the day is at hand. Why? How long is the night of majesty? Until peace. It is until the rising of the morning. Unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with what? With healing in his wings. Well, it's talking about me now. That's me. The night is far spent, and the day of judgment is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy works of darkness, but the Sabbath day shall be a holy day, and in it, don't do that. Huh? Cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of what? Of light. let us walk honestly. No more deceiving and lying and robbing each other. No, let us walk honestly as in the day, knowing that we can be seen. In other words, it says, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering. You know, these secret, if they say he's in the secret chamber, believe it not, in those secret orders and all that kind, you know, the secret order of the skull and bones and all this foolishness. No more of that. It says, no, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying, but put ye on the Lord and his Christ. Not the Lord Jesus Christ, the Lord and his Christ. Put on your mind what I'm here to teach you. Put on the Lord and his Christ, and make not provision for the flesh. Give no thought what you shall eat, or wherewithal shall you be clothed. For after all these things do the Gentile, the jinn, the devil seeks that. But you seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these other things will be given to you. It says so, but put ye on the Lord and his Christ, and make not provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof. The lust is the desires of the flesh. Yes. And it says, him that is weak in the faith receive ye, but not to doubtful disputations. You notice, I'm here to put an end to people talking about there is no God, talking about he are atheists. You don't hear no atheist coming in here call himself arguing with me. Because I take his argument away. They hear me now. You hear one unmuting his phone saying he'll argue? I told you was going to learn to fear me. Didn't I? So, I want to, I got to play a little bit of the theology of time. Sorry it took me so long to get to it. Oh, excuse me. Wrong one. And let me change this back. I keep forgetting I need to change this. I keep forgetting I need to change the television back to where I can play the computer through it. Okay.
There's a big question mark there. Yes, sir. Hey, Ken, if I ask you, when was Christianity inserted in the religion of man? If it didn't change with the earth, with the star and the moon, you don't have God's religion. You must have the religion of God, who created the heavens and the earth and taught man the right way.
Anybody want to dispute that? If the religion that you have did not come with the star and the moon and the sun, you don't have God's religion. You know how long man have been on this earth? If you ask a person, what is the religion? What does it mean? What does Christianity mean? You'll go in the dictionary and tell you that it means one who professes a belief in the teachings of Jesus. Okay. Then what did Jesus teach? Jesus taught entire submission to the will of God. You look up the definition of the word Islam and you discover that it means entire submission to the will of God. So if you say you're a Christian, then you have to believe in Islam because that's what Jesus taught. And Jesus didn't call his religion his teachings. He said, the words that I'm speaking are not mine. So Jesus didn't have no teaching. Allah had the teaching that he shared through Jesus. So you calling a religion the one who believed in the teachings of Jesus. Well, Jesus didn't have no teaching. Jesus said what he was speaking was what God gave him. Huh? All right. Any objections?
You cannot boast of a religion that did not come with the heavens and the earth. That it's right. No. Theologians will condemn you. Take you down to the road of peace and get you guessing and wondering when it come about. God never changed his religion. If he won't change it, it shows that he didn't go nowhere. He's supposed to know the future and the end of all things. So he chooses them one religion.
How do you know that God would never change his religion? Which of you owns any property and is willing to let somebody come and tell you what to do on your property? I mean, when people come in your house, how many people do you let come in your house and at some point you say, well, you take it over? As long as you, I know my daddy and my mama. As long as you live under my roof, you're going to do what I say. That's what they tell you. Is that right, brother? Yes. So everybody done heard that before. You telling them what you don't like or whatever. Say, well, as long as you living under this roof, you're going to do what I say. Yes. Is that right? Yes. So I know you know that it shouldn't be no shock to you that whoever the earth belonged to, he wants you to do what he said. Is that right? All right. You see, you can't fight against Islam. You can only fight against the wrong idea of Islam. But when you notice, none of these people come in here to argue what Islam is with me, because they know I know. And when I tell you there ain't no Muslims, but people who submit to me, I can prove that. That's not something that I just stand up and say. And if any of them thought that I couldn't prove it, you'd hear them come in here and say, well, let me hear you prove it. Do you hear anybody telling me to prove it? Because I'll make them read it. You only know the book from what you heard somebody say about it. You don't know what's in the scripture.
religion must be capable of defining the truth of what he has made. If God made the universe and did not define it and tell you and I what he made it for, then the God is not active on his truth of his creation. Let's listen good and I'm trying to learn something. I don't argue with you because I know what you know. And I'm not boasting in what I put it out here to you. You are welcome to take it or leave it. It is yours as well as mine. There is a lot of folks in power action among us, but I said, put it down. Because the Bible teaches you that God will destroy the proud. He don't like proud people. And I don't either. We like humble people who can recognize the humble humility of us all. And that if we can recognize our own humility, then I think we got about the whole. Not a one of us is not up from slavery. Not a one of us is the president of the United States.
And even when we had one who was president of the United States, he was not a proud man. He wore that mantle with humility. And yet, he commanded respect. And that's what they were so angry about, that they could not make a buffoon out of him or a clown. And so now they so busy trying to undo all of the good that he did for this country, that they willing to burn the house down rather than let stand the good that he did while stealing his ideas. He's the one that started talking about what should be done for the infrastructure. Now Donald Trump and them and all of the people who's in that administration trying to pretend it or act like that just came up. It didn't just come up. You just now acknowledging that it should have been done. But they wouldn't do it because President Obama was the one who brought it up and reminded them that when the last depression, one of the things that helped America get out of the depression, that the President Roosevelt, he began to, I don't know if it was Roosevelt or which one, Truman or whoever it was, but was it Roosevelt? He told them we need to start rebuilding infrastructure. They started building dams and all of these things, the infrastructure, and it created jobs on top of jobs. And at the same time, it was strengthening America. What better way to make jobs for yourself than to use it to reinforce and build up and beautify America? And so the president, he just took a page from Mr. Roosevelt, and he even told him, this ain't just my idea. I got this from Republicans and Democrats. That didn't satisfy them wicked people. And you notice, can't none of them say nothing to me. Like that boy Stevie. You remember that hypocrite that was sitting up there, a little 20-something-year-old fool? If his mother had to beat his behind like she should, he wouldn't have been there disrespecting me. Those nasty mouth self. What was that? Some guy 827? That's what they raising. Disrespectful, impudent fools. No, your civilization ain't gonna be here. It's gonna be erased because you're wicked. Those of you who are changing, you saving yourself. And you will be so happy when you see the replacement for this civilization. That's right. We know how to do something better now. Then we don't have to keep this one here. That's why it's coming apart. Because it's time for something better.
Let us be careful what we boast of. If you have quite a bit of money, that's all right. We can't know it. Maybe we could get some one day. You didn't get it all. This teaching that God has brought to me is to level us off. That's right. Some of us is up too high. As the Holy One speaks to a proud man in this way.
You notice, people that you thought were so wise, and people that you looked up to, you notice since you've been listening to me, they don't look so wise to you no more, do they? This teaching was designed to level us off. You know how you used to hear people say, look, I'm being on the level with you. It means me being honest with you. You notice now I'm making all of them be honest and acknowledging that they don't know. Why? The way I talk, don't you know if any of them thought they knew something? What would they be doing? Say, hey, Mr. Son-of-Man, or whatever you call yourself, that ain't right, or whatever. Do you hear them telling me I ain't right? If anything, they silence say, sure you right. Is that right? Yeah.
And it's time to be up over everybody. So you cannot reach the top of mountains in your life Nor can you go and step to the earth. So since you can step to the earth too deep and was not able to reach the top of mountains and hills on the earth, then even the earth is taller than you and deeper than you. So let us take our place where we were created and try and man it.
You hear that? So let us take our place in which we was created and try and man it. That's what we do to the earth. We man the earth. Allah is sufficient as having charge of affairs. Man means to take charge. You can be humble and you can still be able to command respect without acting proud. I mean, if anything, if you really are wise and really know what you're doing, you don't have to fear that somebody gonna take your job. And if someone knows how to do your job better than you, intelligence would dictate that they shouldn't have to take it. You should be telling them, hey, you should be in charge of this and I should be following you. Like John told Jesus. John told Jesus, look, man, you should be baptized in me. I need to be baptized by you, not you by me. But John recognized that Jesus had greater knowledge than him. You know, I've had people, it's a few people around here that have asked me, why don't I run for office? I told them, I can't run for no office. I'm the Son of Man. I can't get involved in get locked into no office around here, yours. But I can help you. I can help whoever's in that office if they will accept my help. I'll help them. I'm part of this community. It's just like if the clerk send me they order you to come down and sit on the jury, for jury duty. First time since I've been here, I got something from the circuit clerk. I've been here 30-some years. They ordered me to come to sit on the jury. I'm going. How in the world you sit up crying for justice, and then you get a chance to help dispense justice to your peers and you say you ain't gonna do it? No, I have a duty to participate in anything that is right and that gives a chance for a person to be given justice, and I will do that. And I hope that all of you who if you get a request or an order from the circuit clerk, you vote, then your name is in a pool. And they will pull your name out of a pool to be go down for jury duty. If you get that, you go. Unless there are some circumstances where your job is in jeopardy or something like that, you go in and let the judge know. You let them know that you can't. But they're not going to be unreasonable with you. But for the most part, I'm honored that they asked me to sit on the jury. They ain't asked me to sit on the jury yet. They just got me down there. They probably don't want me on the jury. But anyway, if they choose me, I will sit there and I will be more than happy to hear whatever evidence is for or against a person, and I will give an honest judgment based on what I heard. Do you understand? So I just got that the other day, so I got to go up there. So phrases do tell out. But you hear the messenger, he telling us that we stop, don't be arrogant. That's why, don't never listen to nobody that if you ask somebody for my number, they ain't got to know why you want to call me. That ain't none of their business unless you want to share that with them. Because I've made my number available to whoever wanted. And now I don't care what color they are. If people want to call me, you give them my number. Ain't no big eyes and little U's in Islam. I don't know why you say you care about people, but you don't want to be bothered with people. You don't care about them if you don't want to be bothered with them. Do you think that you always right? Well, if you don't think you know everything about everything, then why you don't think you need to let people reach you that think they need to share something with you or talk to you? They may see something you don't see. They may be able to help you become a better person. You don't know that if you won't make yourself accessible. If you're leading people, you should make yourself as accessible as you can make yourself. Not in a disrespectful forum like Twitter and all that. You don't want to go on there. That's not people hang out on there to throw insults. Most people on there throwing insults and all kind of crazy stuff. You don't want to get involved in that, but give people a number where they can reach you. Most people who really feel confident or feel that they have something of substance to share with you, they're not going to do that on no Twitter or Facebook or stuff like that. I'm not condemning Facebook, but that's a get acquainted thing more so than a place where you really talk any kind of business. When you want to have a serious dialogue with someone, you pick up a phone and you start that dialogue on the phone, and then even then, you don't get into all of your personal conversations over no telephone. If you can arrange to talk with the person face to face, you should do that. Do you understand? But now in this forum here, it's just like people call me sometime and they have questions for me. And I tell them, look, when at the next class, it's always going to be, if it's not on the day that we have in class, it's the next day. Because we have meetings every other day. We have class every other day. So I tell them, look, if you're not going to remember, if you don't think you're going to remember these questions, but what you do, you write them down, and then when I start the meeting the next day, we start with those questions. And then you ask the question in the class so that when you get the answer, everybody will get the answer. You see? That way we don't have a lot of redundancy. because a lot of people have the same questions. So when one person asks, then that answers the question for all of those who had that question. You understand? Then you ain't got to keep on going over the same thing all of the time. And so that's what I do. And sometimes they call on meeting day, and I say, well, I'll be on there tonight. And you ask that question tonight, and I'll go into it. See, most of the people who stand up lying to you, they taught you to talk private. I do my teaching publicly. If you ask me a question, then ask it in class. I won't feel embarrassed. If I don't know, I'll just tell you I don't know. I ain't read nowhere in the scripture where it say the Son of Man knows everything about everything. If you show me where it say that, then I say, well, I can't be the Son of Man because I don't know everything about everything. Well, people say, well, you act like you do. No, I don't. I told you a long time ago, it's not that I know everything. I just have sense enough to not be speaking on things that I don't know. Unlike you. Somebody tell you something and then you go out parakeeting it like you know it, when all you doing is quoting what somebody told you and you don't know whether it's true or not. Didn't even bother to get no proof. If I quote somebody else, I'll tell you, so-and-so told me this, and I got this from this brother. I got this from this person. I show you on the TV. I got that from here. Whatever. And then it's, I'm trying to show you how to be honest. Some of y'all is like somebody who go and get a bag full of oranges and you act like you conjured them up instead of saying they came off of an orange tree. I don't care about telling people where the source of my knowledge is. So anyway, I'm going to put a pin in it right there. And it's Wednesday. So, as you get older, you can start feeling stuff. My frame is getting kind of old. So I feel stuff now. Anyway, let me let you go. And may Allah bless, keep you safe. And keep us safe and in our right minds. Remember to treat people like you want to be treated. Okay? There you go. If somebody disrespect you, chalk it up to that they just don't know no better. Do you understand? And if they have heard better and not doing that, just chalk it up to stupidity. And when you're dealing with a fool, then it should not surprise you why you call them a fool. Now you see why. Because they are foolish. Their actions are stupid and foolish. And you do enough foolish and stupid things, you earn the title fool. You understand? And when you're dealing with a fool, what is the point of trying to argue with him? If a wise man stand around arguing with a fool, the listener's not going to be able to tell which one is which, because a fool cannot argue except with foolishness coming out of his mouth. And so when you try to reason with him, then he's going to make the conversation unreasonable. And when people listening, they won't be able to tell which of y'all is the fool. You see? He's not listening to you when you're talking to him. No way. That's why he's a fool. You can't correct him. Not with words. You try to correct him, he gonna overtalk you. He don't listen to you. Even when he quiet, he's just waiting on his turn to say something. Because in his mind, what you're saying ain't worth hearing. But he think what he's saying is worth hearing. So when you get through talking, in his mind, you're the fool. The wisdom of God is foolishness with this world. And the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. But the difference is, if you ask the one of this world to prove that God's wisdom is foolishness, he can't do it. But if you ask God to prove that their words and their ways are foolish, I could do it. You see, it's very foolish to expect someone to hear your complaint and then, or your question, and then you refuse to listen to their answer. That's foolish. What you asked the question for if you didn't want to hear the answer. And if it was rhetorical, you should have told them it was a rhetorical question. Do you understand? All right. So may Allah bless us, keep us safe and in our right minds. May Allah's salam alaikum.
This session is no longer being recorded. Your conference recording has stopped. Goodbye.